What's up, YouTube? It's Jake, the Ticket Leprechaun, and I've got some cool stuff, never before seen footage I'm going to show you guys today. Hold on, there's a knock at my door.
Well, hello there, Jake, the Ticket Leprechaun.
It's YouTube Hall of Famer Bob Lewis.
Future Hall of Famer, the Ticket Leprechaun. I was just happened to be in the neighborhood, and I saw you were going to kind of get into a video here, and I want to remind you, you forgot to do Bible verse. So
yeah, because Pittsburgh's right down the road from North Carolina.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about this all the way here, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
All right, go
ahead.
ahead.
Girls, probably got a couple girls watching, maybe.
Yeah, Caitlin.
Okay, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Romans 12:18. If it possible, and as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. That's
a good verse, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Took me like 8 hours to come up with that one on the drive down here. But now we
Yeah, what are you doing down this way, man?
yeah, so I'm finishing up my vacation, and we were at Myrtle Beach, and just talking with Jake, and I was like, I was just talking with him. I'm thinking I had a stopgap in Winston-Salem planned just to kind of break up the trip home, and let's make that closer to Charlotte and see if we can pull something off here. So I've been, for the last 3 hours, in the Ticket Leprechaun Sanctuary, seeing exclusive material, exclusive content, and it's awesome. It's sort of like a museum in here. He has a very good wife that lets him do all this.
Thank you, Amy.
You all know what this is. It's even better in person. What the camera is sitting on, that's not like anything I've ever seen in any of my friends' collection rooms. It's awesome, and it's really cool. Jake's my friend, Jake's my brother, and it's just been good. It's very natural, you know, like Scott said when he met people at the National. It's not weird. It's like you just pick up right where their last video left off, and the conversation just continues from our last conversation. So
absolutely. That's
so
like
cool.
We opened the door and he's like, "Yo, give me a hug, man." And I was like, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you can do a fist bump, but even
bring it in.
Brothers got a hug, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, there's cool stories. One of the things I like about Jake, it's not like a frivolous collector. Everything has a purpose, a home. It's organized. It means something to him on some level, some really deep levels, and some just kind of like it's an important part of the game. So Bob Lewis, and I promise I don't refer to myself in the third person at least 2 or 3 times, Dennis, but Bob Lewis,
they would think you were an imposter if you didn't. So
he needs I need a little bit more focus. So I'm trying to take a page out of my buddy Jake's manual for collecting and how to. So it's I have a tall order in front of me, that's for sure.
Well, hey, man, I mean, a lot of other people talk about it in the community, too, and it's true. I mean, everybody has their own way, and in a lot of ways, it's a reflection of their personality. Like, you were talking about, like, wow, this is, like, crazy organized, and I was like, yeah, that's just kind of how my mind works.
I gotta show them Jake hooked me up with a...
Okay.
Right here.
Is that in here?
Right here.
Yeah.
So... I'll do them in order, right, of hooking up.
Okay.
So I had mentioned I was going through some of his carts, and I came across his 93 Upper Deck Derek Jeter rookie and said, I have not been able to find mine. Jake hooks me up with one.
Especially if you have 2, man. I was like, yo, take one. He's like, oh, I'll find them later. I was like, just dude, take it.
And I don't know if you're going to pick this up, but for all you fellas that know Pork Chop out there, he's now going to find a rightful home in the Bob Lewis Goofy Card PC, as well as probably the goofiest card of the last year and most infamous Griffey Shore, which I was not one of the 100,000 people that bought one.
I was.
But now I have one, and really, like, this is literally a piece of cardboard hobby history now. I mean, for some people, not one they want to remember, but it happened, and that's all right. And it's, you know what, it ain't that bad of a card.
It's silly looking, but if it fits in anybody's PC, it's Bob's. So he had to have one.
And it is Griffey, so
it is Griffey.
That's
Hall
cool.
Famer.
So, you know, I didn't plan to come here and take anything home with me, but this was a nice little, you know, this will hold me over until I get home tomorrow and I get to look at my own cards again.
There you go.
You know.
There you go. Well, I know we talked about a lot of different stuff. I mean, you've been here for probably what, like a couple hours now.
Yeah.
Talked a lot of different stories, looked at a lot of different cards. What were some of the things that I guess you liked looking at first that we flipped through?
Yeah, well, if you've watched Jake's channel, and you are now, you know there were some must-sees that I had to see. And they're in here, and it was probably, I think, right about here somewhere. It was the Mantle Ball.
Yeah.
And somewhere down here is some other guy named Babe Ruth, you know. I swear I stared at it for probably about 5 minutes. I really didn't want to pass up that opportunity because when's the next one? You know, you can see him at the National, but it was saying, like, you can stop and see everyone. To hold one of your buddies and to know what it means to him and his collection, it just adds a little something more to it. So those will be big things. But you know, you can interact with each other on your channels through comment sections and even text and stuff. But to be here and to see it and to really like hear him talk about his collection, being able to, I'm not an autograph really collector, so to be able to ask kind of, you know, how he frames his decision making, what's important to him, how he decides what he's going to buy next. If you didn't know, Jake's watch list is filled out, so I have to take a cue out of that as well if I'm really going to set my sights on some goals out there I want to collect. So it was a lot of that. It was there's a lot to look at here. I shared. He asked me his what set. If I could look at one set, what would I pick? I went with the 56 tops because I knew there were some stud cards in there, and he actually gave me a new perspective that it's sort of like considered. Well, first of all, it's most Hall of Famers.
Yeah, most Hall of Famers in the 50s for any set.
And then that was kind of like that transitioning phase of like all the greats from the years, the decades before that, or decade 15, and now, you know, Aaron's second year, Mays, and yeah,
year,
right.
Guy,
Aaron's third year.
Aaron's third year, yeah.
Yeah, so like just that new batch of Hall of Famers that are coming in, Killer Brew, and you know, and then all the Yogi, but just cool to see those cards. I mean, I'm not really a vintage guy to any extent that Jake is, or set collector, but when you see it, you just really have an appreciation for it in and of itself, but more so for like how your friend, how much it means to him, you know what I mean? Just to hear them talk about it, I could ask a lot of questions, but then all I really would have to do is ask a little question and then just let him kind of like, and you just see the passion coming out of him. So it's very cool.
And I think we're both the same in that way of like, we could always kind of tell through video, but like it only takes like one thing to get either one of us talking.
Sure.
And like then we're telling stories and, you know, we're just going, man. It's crazy. Like people talk about it, but it really is true. Like we get here for the first time, we've never met before in person. Yeah. And it's like we've been friends for years. Like we just talked about cards and baseball and life, I mean, for like 3 hours. Well, it's no big deal.
That shouldn't make sense to people outside of the hobby, but inside I think it does. I mean, because if you guys have done that, you guys that have been doing YouTube for longer, meeting at the National, we were just talking about where you planning to go to the National, and we don't know if we were this year or not, but we're going to go to it again. Definitely. And we know we look forward to that time to just hang out with each other, hang out with, you know, the masses of this hobby, this community, and it's going to be a great time. This hobby's, it's crazy right now, as we all know, you know, and it's like this, we want it to be successful, we want it to grow, and we want people to be interested, but man, I'm getting priced out of a lot of stuff, and I should have bought that 2 years ago or whatever. It's just, so it's nice for me to hear, like, I'm not the only one going through these thought processes in my head. It's like, and we collect totally different things really, but it's still the same experience for us. So something's going on, and that's it's exciting times in the hobby for sure.
Yeah, interesting and exciting. And kind of like you said, we collect some the same. That's kind of how we found each other.
Right.
On YouTube, but at the same time, there are differences too. Like where I collect more vintage, more autographs, that kind of stuff, and you do a lot more modern than I do, and even player collections and stuff like that, and it's even affecting different parts of the hobby differently.
Sure.
Where like the vintage, you guys like Aaron and Mantle, like they've always went up, but like in the past year, really exploded. Where you were talking about like Ian Half, like was your example.
Yeah.
Of I think you said 1 week this autograph card would be $20 a half, and he has a good week, and now it's 85, and it's just like what? How?
Yeah. So if you get a hot player, and his cards were normally no investing tips here, so it's just crazy times in the hobby. I don't make sense. I can't make sense of it. Jake says he can't. I talked to Andy yesterday. He can't. So we're all in the same boat. The insane boat that is the hobby nowadays, and that's all right. I can embrace insanity. I really have already to some extent.
I mean, he is friends with STOF, so
I've been getting texts on my phone. What did I just watch on Mark's channel? So I don't know. This isn't my phone, by the way. This is my phone, but I've been getting texts on my phone. What did I just watch? So I don't know. I can't take credit for it. I don't know if you have any STOF fans that watch the Ticket Leprechaun, but that's all him. If you have a problem with it, I haven't seen it yet, take it up with Mark. That was my little disclaimer, that's all.
When you may be about to, talk about it on your channel, or you may have, I may not have seen it yet, but maybe it's a Ticket Leprechaun exclusive. How did you think Hobby Palooza went for you guys?
So it was a blast. I know that. And I feel like the more I've talked to people that have seen it, I haven't gotten any bad, like, nobody said they just didn't, it was terrible. The most thing we get is like, were you doing all that stuff on purpose?
Yeah.
And, you'd have to be here to get the exclusive interview. What really went down on Hobby Palooza, but some of it was, some of it wasn't, most of it wasn't. But it just worked. And somehow, some way, people don't know what to expect. And that kind of worked into our advantage this time. It was a blast. I really, just to see the hobby coming together, connecting on all these different channels that I really don't watch regularly or even knew about at all. It's such a big hobby, and for that to kind of come together in the way that it did, I think with even a lot of other kind of people doing the similar things, streaming live, I feel like we had a pretty good turnout. I'm excited for the next one, really.
Me too. And I was telling Bob, I didn't get to tune into a lot of the stuff live, but I've watched a few different ones. Cardboard Podcast was one of the ones I watched live.
Of course.
Hilarious, man. I was telling Bob, my favorite part, hands down, was at the very end when Mike, baseball collector, just shows up and he's livid that they've had this train wreck of an episode, and he's like, I paid STOF all this money, $5,000. Bob's like, money? What? We got $5,000?
I didn't get no money.
You're holding out on him, Mark. Come on.
I didn't even get any junk wax commons, let alone money.
Unbelievable. You didn't even get to keep the giveaway that you guys kept trying to give away of the sealed wax that apparently, I don't even know, did that even happen?
I think it happened in the after party.
In the after party. Yeah.
So there was an exclusive invite to that. Which STOF has apologized to me, and I'm like, I didn't watch it, man. I'm sorry. Apparently, he might have had a couple too many to drink.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that guy. I can't believe I let him hitch his wagon to me, but...
Oh, I was wondering how that came about. I'm glad that was revealed on the Cardboard Podcast during Hobby Palooza. You thought you could help this wayward youth, and
I'm not giving up on him just yet.
Yeah, you're a good man, Bob Lewis.
He should grow a mustache at least, or a beard or something.
It'd help him out. Beard
for sure. Beard.
Yeah, for sure, beard.
But hey. Maybe he can't, and I can't judge him for that. It took me 39 years to grow this one, so that's it, man.
Good, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming down, man. It's been a blast. Really enjoyed it. Now the next step we'll either be. I hope that we meet up again at the National, or
2021 Chicago,
or I make it up to Pittsburgh to check out your collection. You know, because I'm glad.
By then I'll have the whole third floor taken over.
Yes, yes. But because I really enjoyed, sharing my collection with everybody. People say on YouTube, like, love sharing it with other people. That's why they do it, and connecting with people and get to share your hobby with somebody. But getting to share it in person with somebody is even cooler. Like,
well, I had my own experience with checking out the Babe Ruth, but this doesn't sound weird, but like you watching me probably looking at it was a cool thing for you. You know what I mean? So it's just how this works. It's a great thing we got going on here in this hobby, and I hope it's around for a long time.
Same. So I hope I get up to Pittsburgh to check out yours sometime. I'll get up there. I got to see a Pirates game at some point. So now I know somebody up there.
You can't come into town and not look me up. So
I will definitely do that.
Don't stay in a hotel. You can stay in the card room.
Yes. Yes. With all the pork chop.
That's right. Pork chop Peters or whoever he is, but hey, it's pork chop. That's all we need to know.
Awesome. Thanks, Bob. Thank you guys for watching this special episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. YouTube Hall of Famer Bob Lewis's channel.
And you might not even like really. I could be coming to your house next. If you hear a knock at the door with me and my Bible in my hand, you got to open it up.
You better answer it, because it could be a YouTube Hall of Famer. How many times have I got that in?
At least 3 or 4. So next year, 2021.
See, I gotta get to 500 subs first before.
Oh, all right.
I'm worthy.
Oh, well, that was your career. That was your step. You didn't apply to your own self, though.
Yeah, true. All right, guys. Until next time, God bless.
He does every day.